The views and opinions expressed in this program by the host or guests do not state or reflect those of the company, its management, sponsors, or any entities they represent.
Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off of steel. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis, and breaking scoreboards. Simone to the Olympics, defense and big business. The Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the three in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids. Price and Doherty, Bill in the Indian years. This who it is. Your host Dee Trynt, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host Dee Trynt, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer.
Today, 11th, March 11th. All right, Tuesday.
The views and opinions expressed in this program by the host or guests do not state or reflect those of the company, its management, sponsors, or any entities they represent.
Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off of steel. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis, and breaking scoreboards. Simone to the Olympics, defense and big business. The Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the three in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids. Price and Doherty, Bill in the Indian years. This who it is. Your host Dee Trynt, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host Dee Trynt, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer.
We back. Dee Trynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Follow us on IG at Industry Sports. If you missed the live streamings, catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and various other streaming platforms. Make sure you check out the Industry Sports website. You know what I'm saying? Keep up with the latest articles and updates about what's going on in the sports world near you. All right. So I don't know what's going on, y'all. The universe doing a thing today, between the universe and the technology. I don't know why they're not, cooperating, but we just gonna keep it pushing, all right? It is March, all right, which means March Madness, but WNCA men's basketball and women's basketball. Uh, you know, hockey finals in college as well. The hockey season is coming to its last couple months, so we can get ready for the playoffs like the NBA season is. Okay. Um, and NFL offseason along with baseball preseason getting ready to kick off the season. All right. So this is the part of the year where sports is at a full abundance. You're coming out of the winter season back to where it's getting warm. People starting to come outside. Things start heating up. All right. The NBA definitely has heated up over the last couple months. Since the trade deadline, I don't know. It seems like NBA has just gotten better and better. Last night, Monday, we had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 games on tap in the NBA last night. All right. We're going to kick it off with the Trailblazers versus the Warriors. The Warriors win to go to 37-28. Portland is now 28-38. They win 130-120 in Golden State. David Avija, all right, guy's been getting this game up. I got to give it to Daddy, man. He was in Washington lightweight, got lost, but he getting this game up right now. But last night he had 34 and 16 with 6 assists. Donovan Clegane had 15 and 9 with 6 assists. Anthony Simons, the new number one over there. He had 32. He had 32 points. He went for 6 threes. Scoot Henderson off the bench had 12, but it was not enough, man. Golden State, ever since they didn't got Jimmy over there, ever since they didn't got Jimmy buckets, bro, they've been putting up buckets, bro. Stupid buckets, all right? Let's see. Jimmy Butler had a triple-double last night. 15 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Steph Curry had 23, he had 24, hit for 5 threes. Moses Moody went for 20. Buddy Yield went for 20 off the bench, hit 6 threes. Even Gary Payton II went for 26, and he hit 4 threes off the bench. And they go for 130, man. They definitely trying to climb their ranks up. I think they're going to have make a good run at trying to knock off one of them teams to be in a title slot. But we'll get into that in a second. Next game on the slate, 76ers and Atlanta Hawks. Hawks take this one by 9. 123-132. Quentin Grimes started off in New York, got traded to Dallas. Now he's in Philly. He put up 35, 7 rebounds, 5 assists last night. Lonnie Walker the fourth is over in Philly now. He contributed with 11 last night. And they got a couple guys down here. Roger Council, the fourth, he went for 19. Dalton Jr. went for 17. Bona went for 12. But it was not enough. Philly, right? Tough slap for Philly. But Philly in a position that I felt like the Browns was in last season, right? All your key people are hurt. You might as well just let them heal. Go ahead, take the little loss on the season, get a top pick. So now you got something that you can rebuild with, but you can also add it to what you have right now and make a real push next year. So ain't nothing wrong with that, right? But Atlanta, right? Let's talk about how Atlanta has been getting a game up, okay? Let's talk about how they done lightweight traded their whole little joint, and they still out here putting up numbers, okay? Double O, Okongwu, center. He had 15 last night. Zachariah Risache, number 1 overall pick in the last draft. He had 22 and 8. Dyson Daniels, young man from the G League. I think he's been in there about 3 years now. He was in New Orleans, but ever since he's hooked up with Trae Young, it seems like they've been a great match. All right. Daniels had 25 last night with 9 assists and 6 rebounds. is arguably in conversation for defensive player of the year, especially on the perimeter side. He's been doing this stuff. All right. They still got Clint Capella over there. He didn't do too much. But new acquisitions, Georges Niang had 18 last night. The minivan. Shout out to the minivan. We still fuck with you over here in Cleveland, man. But he put up 18 for 3 assists, 4 rebounds last night, hit 3 threes. And Terrence Mann, who they acquired from the Clippers in the trade for Bogdan. He had 19 points with 6 rebounds and 4 assists last night. Again, Atlanta is now 31-34. They win 132-123 over the Philadelphia 76ers, who are now 22-42. I do want to talk football. My bad, Philly, for mixing up y'all teams, but we'll get to football in a second. All right. Next game on the slate, Jazz versus Celtics. This game was probably a little closer than people intended it to be, right? But hey, the Jazz, it's not that they lack talent, but they don't have a bona fide number one over there. So until they actually get a number one option over there they can build around, the Jazz are going to be in this kind of bad state. But I don't think they're too far. I don't think they're too far. Hopefully something to shake for them. But they lose to Boston 108 114. Jazz dropped to 15-50. Boston moves up to 47-18. John Collins, 28-10 last night. Walker Kessler, 11-10. Colin Sexton, 16 points, 13 assists last night, doing his thing. Ben Sensabaugh off the bench with 22, hit for 5 threes. But it wasn't enough, clearly. Boston is a hell of a team, right? And last night, they didn't have nobody. Well, I don't say nobody, right? Jaylen Brown played, but Tatum did not play. Porzingis, of course, did not play. Drew Holiday did play. Drew had 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Devin White had 18 points and 10 assists. Jaylen Brown went for 26, 7 assists, and 8 boards. And Sam Hauser, another reserve. Sam Hauser, 33.6 rebounds, 9 threes. So in a span of 7 days, the Boston Celtics had 2 bench players and the 4th option all hit for 9 threes. All right. I'm just saying it's reasons why Boston is still that team. You know what I'm saying? And we don't knock them. I mean, they ain't going to beat Cleveland, but I'm just saying it's reasons why they still that team, and we respect that. So Boston take care of business last night. Let's move on to the Lakers and Nets. The Nets are trying to scramble to do something. I think it's going to be futile, but they're scrambling, right? The Lakers have been surging. LeBron is out for 7 to 14 days with a growing injury. Do you want my honest opinion? I don't really think he injured like that. He just older. And for as many minutes as he gonna probably play in the playoffs, he probably should take a couple weeks off in March. I don't see nothing wrong with it, man. I don't have an issue with it. I think do right by what you need to do right by. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But the Lakers fall to 40-23 is a 108-111 loss to the Brooklyn Nets, who moved to 22-42. Alex Len started last night for the Lakers. Gabe Benson started as well, and he put up 24 points. He hit 6 threes. Luka Doncic, 22, 12, and 12. He hit 3 threes. Dalton Connect started last night. He went for 19, hitting 3 threes. And Austin Reeves went for 17 and 10 assists.
Mike.
What happened? What's wrong? And then Goodwin off the bench hit for 17. What's good, bro? Your camera is on something. Now, I don't know what it's on, but it's on something. You good? Okay, so wait till when he jump in, and we gonna jump into what he talking about when he jump in. The Nets though. Let's talk about what the Nets did last night. All right. Uh, Cam Johnson, 18 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. Nicholas Claxton, 12 points, 6 rebounds. Keldon Johnson with 18 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Uh, Clowney, 19 points, 5 rebounds. Martin had 14 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Look, and they pulled one out. All right. I still think Luca and Bron could still take it to the ship. We'll get into that conversation in a minute, but it's highs and lows when it comes to winning and seasons. It's a marathon, right? You have your winning streaks and you don't have your winning streaks. You have your good times and you have your L's, and it's all right, man. The Nets, though, they still trying to hold on to some type of respectability. So we'll see how it play out for them at the end of the season. Hornets versus Heat. Hornets beat the Heat by 3 last night. Which is interesting for the Hornets, right? Because the Hornets kind of remind me of the old LA Clippers team. You got all this talent that you've acquired. Y'all have done so much. And I'm gonna play this game. And for some reason, it just hasn't come together yet. I think they just young. I think they do got a few pieces. It is unfortunate that Brandon Miller is out, which is a guy who really adds to the value and the possibility and potential of the team. But they be playing, right? LaMelo goes for 15 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. Mark Williams, 24 points, 10 rebounds last night. Uh, Mikal Bridges, Michael, Mikal, Miles Bridges, 35 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. He's been on a scoring tear this year. All right. We talk about most improved players, and I think Miles Bridges should definitely be considered in this conversation when we talk about most improved players. But outside of those three, they didn't really get much from the rest of the team, yet they won. Miami. I like Miami. I like the potential of Miami. Um, Hero, Wiggins, Adebayo, Khalil Ware. I think that's fire. They're starting Davion Mitchell, who's a point guard, really a defensive guy, but somebody who can allow the other guys to be scorers, while Khalil Ware is the defensive guy who hold down the paint. I really think this team is going to give people problems, like a lot of problems. And I wouldn't be surprised if they contend for a top 6 spots. If they just run off like a little, 7, 8, 9 game little winning streak right quick. It wouldn't shock me. I'm not saying they're going to do it. I'm just saying that the way the Miami team is built, it wouldn't shock me if they did, because I feel like they got the talent mixed with, veteranness. Like, they kind of young, but they been in the league a minute. Khalil Ware is young. But add Bam, Wiggins, Mitchell, Hero, Robinson, Highsmith, Kyle Anderson, Terry Rozier, Kevin Love, Alex Burks. All these guys been in the league like 8 years plus. And Tyler maybe only been here like 5, but still, like these guys been in the league for a minute. But anyway, Bam went for 23 and 14. Wiggins went for 19 and 7. Tyler Hero went for 21. Duncan Robinson gave him 14 off the bench, but it just wasn't enough. They fall to 29 and 35. The Hornets went to improve to 16 and 48. They're a lottery team, though. We know how this is going to play out. Another set of lottery teams. Wizards and Raptors. Raptors win 119 to 104 over the Wizards. With the Wizards right now, it's just about seeing, what do they have to build around, and what can they add to be building to. I like the potential of Alex Sarr. I like Bud Carrington. I like Jordan Poole. I don't have a problem. I kind of like his game. But Kabale, he be playing like he should be one of the pieces they build around. I'm not gonna say he has man Thompson's game, but he's deceptively talented, which reminds me of man Thompson. Like you see this guy play, you don't really understand. When we speaking on Thompson, right? You don't really understand that this guy can really be a point guard, but can really rebound and play high level defense and score at will in the paint. You know what I mean? Doesn't really have a jump shot, but he has everything else. Smaller version of Ben Simmons in a way. Cola be I'm about to mess his name up. Kalabali. 6'8". He can shoot. He can defend. He can run the paint. I think he has a little post game. Not sure if he got great feet work. We got a little post game. Got a little mid range game. But he plays with a lot of effort. So it's going to be interesting to see what he turns into, right? But the Wizards lose. Alex Sarr goes for 16 and 11. George goes for 13, 3 and 3. Poole puts up 13 and 3 as well. And they had a couple guys contribute off the bench. Kispert put up 13, but it wasn't enough. Then we talk about this Toronto team, right? Toronto's not going to do much, right? They win. It's 119 and 104. Toronto improves to 22 and 43. Wizards fall to 13 and 50. But when it comes to this Toronto team, they have an interesting makeup right now, especially if they can convince Brandon Ingram to stay. Now you're talking about a team with a potential starting lineup of Scotty Barnes, R.J. Barrett, Brandon Ingram, what's that? Podol, Yonka Podol, Grady Dick. They still got Emmanuel Quickly over there, Boucher. Guy they've been over there, grown big man that's been over there for quite a long time. I think, Toronto may be one good free agency signing away from actually giving people problems. So it's going to be interesting to see what they cap room turn out for the offseason and how they view the pieces that they have. Bulls, Pacers. Bulls beat the Pacers by 18, 121 and 103. Bulls improved to 27 and 38. Pacers fall to 35 and 28. And these Bulls been playing great lately. I'm not gonna hold you. I kind of like their little squad though. I like Buzelis. I like the parent of Buzelis, Giddey, and Kobe White. Okay. I don't know how Vucevic fits in this, but if any team were to get Cooper Flag, this would be the team I would hope Cooper Flag goes to. Right? Or Ace. Right? If Chicago had a number one option right now, Chicago would be a problem. They got a lot of pieces over there, but they need a number one. But Kobe White on his scoring tear goes for 29 and 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Josh Giddey, 29 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. Vucevic went for a double-double off the bench, 11 points, 11 rebounds. And they win by 18. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I don't really got faith in the Pacers like that. I know people keep hollering the Pacers is nice and they might do this and all that. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I don't see it. Siakam wish-washy. Miles Turner don't never know when he want to be a star on what game. Ben Mathurin fire. I like Obi Toppin. And I like Halliburton, bro. He just can't stay healthy. Every time I looked up this year, Halliburton out 2 games. He out 5 games. He out 6 games. He out 3 games. He out 3 weeks. Like, I don't know. Nimhart has performed better than I thought. I don't think his game is that up there like that, but he been putting on and he been holding down the starting spot, so I gotta respect it. But Siakam went for 13 last night. Miles Turner went for 15 last night. Obi Toppin went for 10. Ben Shepherd went for 12. Nobody else on the team did anything significant. And the Bulls ran away with this one. We're going to see how the standings shape out. We're going to talk about that in a second, too, once I get through this list. All right. Rockets versus Magic. Now, this is an interesting matchup between these two teams because both of these teams have a lot of young talent. Both of these teams got a lot of young talent. So they kind of remind me of being in a position that the Cavs was this year and last year. You're playing with house money. Orlando is making themselves believe that they should be in a championship window right now, and I just don't see that for Orlando right now. I think Orlando is still building. Paulo Banchero and Franz Wagner are a nice tandem. They need to find a way to let Jalen Suggs be a scorer and not the point guard, because I feel like he having that Drew Holiday thing. If you don't know, if you're not familiar with Drew Holiday's game, you don't know that Drew Holiday could give you 40. You don't know that Drew Holiday is a 3-level scorer with a post game. You don't know that because you're just used to hearing about his defense. But understand, Drew Holiday is a dog on the offensive side of the ball, okay? And I feel like Jalen Suggs is a dog on the offensive side of the ball, but he, ain't nothing wrong with hanging out on defense. But also, they don't have another wing down there, another guard that can actually play defense on his level. Gary Harris good, but Caldwell Pope cool, but Caldwell Pope like 6'7". So it's like 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", right? 6'5", I think is pushing it. But they got Jonathan Isaac over there. They got Cole Anthony over here. They got Wendell Carter Jr. over here, Caleb Houston, Jet Howard, Anthony Black. They got some pieces over here. But if they're going to be a big three, they're going to have to bring in a real free agent. Hey, Kevin Durant, that might be the spot for you. Because if Kevin Durant goes over there, then he plays the 4. Banchero and Wagner can play a 3 and 2 with their natural positions. I think Wagner is a 2. I don't think he's a 3 or a 4. I think his game is a 2. He's a shooting guard. And then you do that, put Suggs at the point. You got something. That's just my take on it. But Banchero went for 25, 5 and 3 last night. Wagner went for 15, 7 and 5. Wendell Carter put up 12 boards with 8 points. And it was not enough, as Orlando only put up 84 points, and they lost by 13 to Houston. Houston got pieces, all right? I don't know if people really Houston got pieces, bro. Jabari Smith Jr. put up 20 and 7 boards, and he had 5 threes. Tari Eason, he just had 6 and 7. Dylan Brooks had 17. He had 3 threes, had 4 boards. Alsperen Sagun had 14 and 14. Jalen Green had 15, 8, and 7. Steven Adams off the bench had 11 and 17. Bro, VanVleet, Reed Shepard, and Amen Thompson didn't even play last night. Again, Houston got squad, bro. Cal Whitmore didn't even play. Cal Whitmore didn't play last night. And Cal Whitmore, dog. Jay Sean Taylor, dog. Jeff Green still playing. You know what I'm saying? They got one of the Holiday brothers. Like, Houston could be a playoff spoiler for a team. Because I think the West is still kind of definitively wide open. Houston could, you know, they can get they got a puncher's chance, right? Experience will kill them to a degree, but Jeff Green is experienced. Steven Adams is experienced. Dylan Brooks is experienced. Fred VanVleet is experienced with a ring. So you never know. You know what I mean? But I like them. Houston goes to 40, improves to 40 and 25. Orlando falls to 30 and 36. Suns versus Grizzlies. Talking about Durant. Suns versus Grizzlies. Grizzlies pull off a 2-point win last night. I guess it was a really good game. Durant had 35 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Nick Richards had 10 points, 12 rebounds. Bobo had 7 points, hit a 3. Tyus Jones had 12 points with 7 assists. Devin Booker had 26, 6 assists, 9 rebounds. I guess my guy didn't play yesterday. Bradley Beal didn't play. Plumlee gave him 10 and 8 off the bench, but they were 2 points short, right? At Phoenix, oh my God. Phoenix. Phoenix messed up with Monty Williams. When that team wasn't performing right, they should have got rid of Monty first before they start breaking that team up. Phoenix had a potential dynasty. Booker, Ayton, Bridges, Cam Johnson. Phoenix had a fucking squad. And then they broke it all up for Bill and Durant, which it's not that can't work, but you have to have a point guard. You got to have a Rondo and a Perkins. Like, you need a real point guard to run the point and get them all their shots. And then you need a big man who.
It's a wrap.
Huh?
I said they breaking that up after this year. It's a wrap.
I mean, they ain't got no choice. They better hope Booker don't want to go and they got to start from scratch. Because, or you got to start with Bill. But I ain't gonna lie. If they move Durant, they can make it work with Bill, with Booker and Bill. Because the problem with Durant is Durant just want to get his. Now, what's not wrong about Durant getting his is that he plays the game the right way, which means he has a high shot IQ. He takes shots he know he can make on top of the fact he's 7 foot and can't nobody block his shot anyway. He's not a ball hog. He's just going to get his, though. The gift and the curse with that, I'll get to the curse of that, is that a guy that gifted should be leading a charge to a championship. And he is perfectly okay with his 2 finals championships and 2 final MVPs, especially since they came over LeBron. And because of that, Durant ain't the star you gonna mortgage shit for, because he just wants to be the second option. There's nothing wrong with Durant just wanting to be a second option. There is something wrong with what you have to get to acquire Durant to be your second option. Bradley Beal contract is unmovable. I'm going to be the first to tell you that Booker is leaving first. And the Phoenix is going to have to live and die on the contracts of Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. Because nobody's going to trade for them. I know I just said Orlando should. But will they? Like, do you really have confidence that Orlando will do it? So I understand I mentioned it, but with that being said, but they lose to Memphis last night, and Memphis is on the different side of the spectrum. I'm gonna tell you what I don't like about Memphis. I don't like Desmond Bane. I don't like. Okay, let me rephrase this. I don't like Desmond Bane as a $200 million starting shooting guard. I think Desmond Bane has game. I don't think he has any dribbles. But as far as a score off the ball, like an off-ball score, he has a nice role. I think he has starting level talent because he plays really good defense, which I think is underrated about his game, is his defense. But offensively, he just too inconsistent for me to be getting $200 million. Get your money. Memphis gonna pay you that money. You should take every motherfucking red cent that they give you, bro. I'm just saying, if it was me, I wouldn't have paid you that for that role. I'd have gave you 100 though to be the sixth man. I'd have gave you 100 to be the sixth man though. I'd have let you and Brandon Clark be my 6 or 7 man off the bench. Because I think you two coming off the bench as a tandem is fire. Ja Morant needs a real shooter as his running mate. As Jared Jackson was just gifted Zach Edey, and I mean gifted, because the tandem of Jared Jackson Jr. and Zach Edey is a problem. Especially in a 7-game series, because Zach Edey has a real post game. And he's 7'2". And he like 280. Bruh. You ain't moving him. Jared Jackson is, Mobley-esque in the way he plays his movements. Having a Zach Edey enables him to play freely. But they need to figure out that wing position though. But I like Memphis though, because I like Morant. I think Morant fired. Morant went for 29 and 12 assists last night. Bane went for 10.7 rebounds, 3 assists. Gigi Jackson. Jaren didn't play last night. Gigi Jackson and Edey didn't play last night. But they have Scottie Pippen Jr. off the bench, who has been an underrated G League story. Scottie Pippen Jr. had game in college. No, he's not as tall as his dad, but he had game. Very much a orchestrator, offensive facilitator with a jump shot, but not a 3-point shot. I think that's what's to improve. But he got a handle off the world. All right. And Memphis has found a place for him as a defensive backup guard. And I like that role for him. I'm glad. They have Marvin Bagley over there as well. Is that Lamar Stevens? They got Lamar Stevens over there too. Lamar Stevens, shout out old Cavs throwback player. You feel me? But Stevens gave him 13 off the bench. Scottie Pippen gave him 13 off the bench, and Spencer gave him 16 off the bench, and they beat Phoenix by 2. Phoenix falls to 30 and 35. Memphis improves to 41 and 24. Just two teams, as I say, we don't know where the Suns gonna go, but I bet if I'm a betting man, Devin Booker is probably gonna be the one moved, and they're gonna have to eat those 2 contracts, Durant and Bills. Cost of doing business. The Grizzlies, they look promising. Nuggets and Thunder last night. 2 MVP candidates from the same conference. Jokic and Shea Gilgeous. All right. So wait, hold on right quick, y'all. So these Denver Nuggets, though, right? These Denver Nuggets. I like Denver with Russell Westbrook. I've said from the beginning Russell Westbrook should start. He is older, so I understand that he's not, but for the playoff run, he should start. Him and Jokic at the center and point guard is uncanny because it unlocks the rest of the offense. Jokic should actually utilize Michael Porter Jr. and Murray can play freely as a shooter. And when they do it, though, Aaron Gordon is the one that doesn't fit for me. All right. I like Aaron Gordon, but he just doesn't fit because he's not tall enough. That's crazy. He's not tall enough to force Jokic to play the 4. So Jokic has to play the 5. But you need somebody that's going to rebound and do the dirty work in the paint. And that's what Aaron Gordon do, but it limits Aaron Gordon's game by doing that and what he can actually bring to your team. So that's why I say he don't fit. Having Russell allows him to be more involved with every aspect of the game, more, noticeably. But he don't fit though. But nonetheless, Russell Westbrook, 16 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. Jokic, 35 points, 18 rebounds. Michael Porter Jr., 17 points, 6 rebounds. He hit 3 threes. Russell hit 3 threes. Jamal Murray went for 34, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. He hit 3 threes. And he took 22 shots last night. I like Murray taking a lot of shots. That's his game. And then they had Watson come off the bench and give him 16 as well. They put up 140 on OKC. Denver improves to 42 and 42 and 23. OKC falls to 53 and 12. It's crazy to say that you're falling to 12 losses after 65 games. It's crazy. But Chet Holmgren's back. He gave him 8 points, 4 rebounds. Really got schooled tonight. Isaiah Hartenstein gave him 20 points, 7 rebounds. Jay Gilgeous-Alexander gave him 25 points, 7 assists. Lou Dortz gave him 26 points, 7 rebounds. Caruso came off the bench, gave him 13 points. Carson Wallace came off the bench and gave him 12. Jalen Williams gave him 12 and 6 assists, but it wasn't enough. And see, it's games like this where you understand the difference between a team that know what it takes to win and a team still learning what's their way to win. But very good game. Mavericks versus Spurs. That is a nail biter. Mavs by 4, 133 to 129. What can we say about Dallas, right? I think about Kevin Hart when I think of Dallas right now. And when he was talking about his uncle with no pockets. Okay? They took everything. Why do I need pockets? They took everything. You trade Luka. You acquire Anthony Davis. He's injured. Derek Lively's injured. Daniel Gafford's injured. Kyrie Irving's injured. Hardy's injured. Everybody who means something outside of Klay Thompson to your team and PJ Washington. Even PJ Washington injured. Okay? I ain't gonna lie, Dallas. Just pack it up, bro. If y'all still make it to the play-in, I mean, it's a blessing, but just pack it up, bro. Take your ball home. It's cool, bro. It's cool, bro. Just take your ball home, man. It's over. It's over. Again, it's over. Just regroup next year, come back strong. But Dallas will not go lying down. And I respect it. All right. Najee Marshall put up 23 points last night. Kessler Edwards put up 22 points last night. Klay Thompson, 26 off 3 threes last night. Dante Exum had 10 points. Max Christie had 12 points. And Spencer Dinwiddie gave him 28 off the bench as they take San Antonio by surprise in San Antonio. Dallas is now 33 and 33. The Spurs fall to 26 and 37. Let's put some perspective on this. Victor Wembanyama is out for the year. There is no Victor Wembanyama. He is gone. It is over. Pack it up next year. Chris Paul had enough. He's down to his last 20 games of his career, NBA career. But Devin Vassell is back for them, for the Spurs. He had 24, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. Chris Paul had 6 points, 9 assists last night. Harrison Barnes, he had 29 and 8 rebounds, 4 of 6 from the tray, 12 from 14 from the field overall. He had a great game. Johnson, is it Keldon? I think it's Keldon. Johnson had put up 28 off the bench. He had 4 threes as well. He was 4 from 6, 10 from 16 from the field overall. Stephon Castle gave him 14 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. But they lose, even though they put up 129. De'Aaron Fox had 14 points, 8 assists as well. I think, and this is just me, all right? I'm the Spurs. My start lineup next year is De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, with Jeremy Showchan and Victor Wembanyama. Showchan has to become a point forward. Because Stephon Castle is at his best as a scorer. I really like his game. De'Aaron Fox is a scorer. We know this. Victor Wembanyama go score. Devin Vassell play. He's a two-way player. He's gonna play defense, but he's gonna get you buckets as well. Showtime needs to be the Draymond Green of that team. He needs to be a triple-double man, which he has the game for. Facilitator who rebound. You the janitor, bro. If he can become the janitor for that Spurs team is going to be scary for a while. But we got to see the two teams we're going to see what happens next year. It's over with for y'all. And final game of the slates last night, Knicks versus Sacramento. Knicks come out victorious, 133 to 104. Knicks improved to 41 to 23. Sacramento falls to 33 and 31. Mikal Bridges, he had 15 points, 8 assists last night. Anunoby had 24 points, 8 assists. Karl Anthony Towns had 26 points, 9 rebounds. Miles McBride had 21 points and 7 assists. Josh Hart had 18 points and 6 rebounds. Landry Shamet came with the bench and gave them 13. Cameron Payne gave them 6. Mitchell Robinson came off and gave them 5 rebounds. So they played their strengths, right? Listen, New Yorkers. Without Brunson, you're done, son. Let me tell you. I'll repeat this. Without Brunson, you're done, son. I do not know what else to tell you. You're going to have to decide, New York. Do you want Anunoby or Miles and Hart? You're not going to make it work with all three. unless Josh Hart is going to come off the bench with Miles McBride and Malcolm and Mitchell Robinson, this situation is not going to work because Karl Anthony Towns needs a paint player next to him. And unless you're going to make Anunoby play the 4, because Josh Hart is not a 4, he's a 3, even though he's the size of a 2 guard. He's a 3. He's not a 4. Stop trying to use him as a 4. Josh Hart plays better than his talent would suggest he is. And I have nothing but respect for that man. That man plays hard every night. His confidence is through the fucking roof. I respect it. I ain't blinded, but I respect it. Right? I think he also gives New York attitude. He gives them a recognizable personality that they can directly relate to. That's just my take on that perspective of things for them. But we gonna see how it play out. Tibbs, you play your starters too much. Why is Anunoby playing 37 minutes in a blowout? Why is Bridges playing 34 minutes in a blowout? You know, them just my questions. But the Kings, who have a large array of scorers on their team. This is a team full of scorers. This is a team, I don't know if y'all familiar with some of these coaches, but this is a team like Don Nelson would have loved to coach. Okay? Or George Karl. They would have loved to coach this team. You got DeRozan, Murray, Valanciunas, Levine, Monk, Lyles, McDermott, Markelle Fultz. Like, you got buckets on this team. But the one thing about all of these players is they don't know how to play team ball. That is the gift and the curse about having this much talent on the team. I mean, they got guys that can really get buckets, bro. And none of these players know how to play in the system. Every last one of these players need the system to be fit around them to get the match product. And they all got different styles. So, but hey, the NBA is heating up as far as the playoffs is concerned. The Cavs still have the number 1 record in the league at 54-10. Boston is 2 in the Eastern Conference with 47-18. New York is 41-23 at number 3. Milwaukee has a sole hold on number 4 at 36-27. Indiana is in 5th for now at 35-28, and Detroit is 36-29 for the 6th spot. Atlanta trails Detroit by 5 games for the 6th spot at 31-34. Orlando is 30-36. They are in the 8th spot. Miami in the 9th spot, 29-35. And Chicago is in the 10th spot, 27-38. Brooklyn, Philly, Toronto are 5 games behind Chicago for the 5th slot. So if you're asking me, these top 10 teams is it for the East.
Yeah, NBA, they just dropped a playoff picture preview probably like an hour ago.
For real?
Yeah, they had on the East right now, the 9th spot, they got Miami Heat going against the Bulls. At the 7th spot, they got Atlanta going against Orlando. Atlanta against Orlando. We got the Cavs at the number 1. For the 4 is Milwaukee and Indianapolis. And who is that?
New York and Detroit.
The Knicks and Detroit at 3 and 6.
How fitting is it for JB?
Oh, JB making that's what they talk about. JB revenge, man. They talk about
JB getting the Knicks in the first round.
They'll fuck around and beat the Knicks.
Man, listen.
Detroit got a squad over there, man.
Detroit,
got some young ballers over there.
They could definitely figure it out.
I was waiting for them to get it together. I'm happy they didn't get that goddamn alien. That shit would have been crazy.
What alien?
That's over there in San Antonio.
Oh, Wemby?
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Say they got Wemby, it'd have been too real for TV, huh?
Hell yeah. And on the West, though, they got for the 9th and 10th spot, they got King versus the Mavericks. Then they got the 7th and 8th, that's the Clippers versus Minnesota. OKC number 1 spot. Joker in the number 2 spot. Then they got the Grizzlies and the Rockers. I said the Rockers. I can't wait till they come back.
The Rockets. Yeah, that's funny.
And then they got LA and Golden State.
Ooh, Bron versus Steph in the first round is fire.
That's what it's looking like right now.
Bro, it's still like 20 games left, but Bron versus Steph in the first round, potential matchup. Memphis versus Houston would be crazy in the first matchup side. I'm going to tell you this now. I'm subbing Dallas and Phoenix spot. And let me tell you right now, for all the shit Phoenix get, Phoenix one team that if they get in the playoffs, this shit could become a whole different story.
Say Phoenix?
Yes.
Yeah.
Phoenix get in the playoff series, and you're talking about how to game plan to stop Durant, Booker, Beal, and Bobo? I don't know, bruh. They get in the playoffs, and I think because Dallas is going to tank. If Dallas win 12 out of the next 14 games, nigga, if they win,
I want somebody from the West to get that number 1 pick, though.
I mean, no, why?
Good.
No, fuck that. No, I want the number 1. Listen, hold on. That's too many conversations ahead. Hold on.
Right. I don't want to get you all.
Yeah. So Dallas gonna fall. So Phoenix gonna get that spot. I'm not really sure about Sacramento though. As I say, Sacramento got a team full of niggas who could put points up. So they're going to be dangerous in any playoff series as well. But Portland's surging. But I would just say right now, I'm just on the exchange Dallas for Phoenix. So I'm gonna say Phoenix gonna get that 10th spot. Bron gonna be out for 2 weeks. I think he wants to stay at 3. I think LeBron is comfortable with 3. 3 says he doesn't see OKC until the conference championship.
I heard they coach flipped out yesterday. I ain't get to see it yet, but I heard he like JJ
OKC
Redick.
coach?
No, JJ Redick. I heard he.
Oh, he wild out.
Squad
for yeah, man. So as far as the NBA today, we have 4 games on the docket. Nets versus Cavs will kick off tonight alongside Wizards versus Pistons. Both games are in Cleveland and Detroit, respectively. Cleveland looking to maintain their best record in the league momentum. They're currently on a 12-game winning streak, and the Nets just won last night. And Wizards and Pistons, as we said, Wizards are going nowhere fast, and the Pistons look like they might have the coach of the year on their hands. Depending, because we got the coach of the year too in Cleveland. So it just depends on how they want to sway. All right. Bucks versus Pacers. Probably the most interesting game of the night because this is literally for playoff position. That game is going to be on Max. I'm probably going to watch him. Pacers need the win because they've been sliding, and Bucks trying to get some cohesiveness. We're gonna see how that works, right? And Clippers versus Pelicans will kick off at 8 o'clock. Harden doing Harden things. Kawhi is back. And the West bet not sleep on what a healthy Clippers team could do to them.
Right. Nobody talking about them right now, for real, for real.
Hey, because don't nobody know who gonna be healthy or not. But I'm just telling you, a healthy Clippers team. Okay. Boom. If I'm choosing my West 8 right now, as far as playoffs is implicated, I've got OKC at 1, Denver at 2. I ain't gonna lie. I think Memphis probably gonna end up with the number 3 slot, and the Lakers probably gonna end up with the 4. I could see Golden State moving to the 5 spot and Houston falling to the 6. Rounded off by I got faith in Ant-Man, but I told you they was gonna slide, bro. And ever since I've been saying that, Minnesota been sliding, and I don't think it's gonna stop. I really want to pick Phoenix and the Clippers to round off my 8. I just think Phoenix might take off. That's just me, right? I think they're going to take off enough to make it to the play-in, and the play-in gets them in the playoffs. So OKC, Denver, Memphis, LA, Golden State, Houston, Clippers, Phoenix. That's my 8 in the playoffs right now with 20 games out. That's how I'm looking at it. I don't think Sacramento's going to figure it out enough to get in. But hey, we're going to see what's going on. And I don't think Minnesota's going to figure it out either. Dallas don't got it. If Dallas wasn't injured, they'd be much higher on my board. But it ain't going to work out. As far as the East goes, okay. Cleveland at 1, Boston at 2, New York at 3. This is where it gets tricky. After the trade deadline, I had Miami moving up to 4. I don't think it's enough games for them to pull this off. They're 7 games back, and Miami specifically has 18 games left in the season, which means they would need to win 14 to 15 of their next 18 to even have the conversation. And from what I've seen them play, I don't know if they can get that many games. Now, they could probably do 50 and 50. They could probably do 10 and 10. They might even can do 11 and 9. But I mean, no, that's not. That's 20 games. I'm sorry. They probably gonna do 9 and 9. They might could do 10 and 8. It wouldn't be out of the realm if they did 11 and 7. But 15 out of 18 is pushing it. But Detroit is surging. And I would very much welcome Detroit getting the number 4 spot. Now that's all contingent on the Pacers winning tonight and beating Milwaukee, and Detroit beating the Wizards. And that, to me, would propel Detroit to 4. And that would drop Milwaukee and Indiana down for 5 and 6. So let's jump out this tree. Cleveland at 1, Boston at 2, New York at 3, Detroit at 4, Milwaukee at 5. Indiana at 6. And I'm going to take Miami or Atlanta as the 7 and 8 teams for my East. All right. Dee Trynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Follow us on IG at Industry Sports or at Dee Trynt. If you miss the live streamings, you can catch replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and various other streaming platforms. Just look for the Industry Sports channel. Like, subscribe, share, follow. If you missed, once you get in there, you'll see Game Changer Sports Talk with yours truly. Do the same. Make sure y'all check out the industrysports.com website, get the latest articles and things like that. If you have teams, topics, athletes that want to be spotlighted, man, hit us up. Right? Email us, industrysports@gmail.com or dtrynt@gmail.com. That was nice talk for basketball. I actually smoothly got through that for the most part and was able to get my thoughts out on a lot of the NBA. There are some teams that didn't get touched. I didn't go into the full scale of Cleveland, the Cavaliers. I will say this, though. Go ahead, bro. I know you want to say something about them Cavs.
No, you good. No, you good.
The Cavs look amazing right now. In my let me talk to you moment, I need to talk to Kenny Atkinson. Okay? Kenny, you are now at the stage with this team where half-court execution is everything. And player lineup is everything. Everyone needs to know their role. Okay? What I don't like with 20 games left in the season is that either you're purposely not showing the lineups that you want to use for strategic purposes, or you don't know. So, this is how I see it. Darius Garland and Ty Jerome from point forward should not share the floor. One has to come in for the other. Okay? I like the lineup. This is how I like the lineup, right? Jerome, Donovan with Strus, Wade, and Jared Allen. That combination lineup is a fire lineup because you still spread the floor. You allow Jared to be the big man he wants to be. Okay? And you still have defense throughout your lineup, and you can still run the break. You should be able to take that whole lineup out and come right back in with Garland, Okoro, Hunter, Mobley, and you can take your pick. You can play Tyson. You can play Sam Merrill. But let's go with that, right? You're going to go Garland, Mero, Okoro, Hunter, and Mobley. Those exchange of fives, great. Because in that first lineup, you know Donovan and Jerome are your main primary ball handlers. Jerome has to understand he isn't the first option. I know he been waiting to unleash hell on the NBA for a long time. You know, he got him a ring. But Ty, you are not the number one option. And that has to be in perspective. You need to know when you need to take up for your star players. That is the challenge I have for you. Donovan, in my opinion, Donovan should be aiming for triple doubles. But in that lineup, Donovan is the number one scorer, and he can he can facilitate and play make off scoring in that lineup. Strus allows the floor to be spread. Wade allows the floor to be spread. Jerome allows the floor to be spread. So him and Jarrett Allen run the middle of the floor. Because you can do that, you can dump it down to Jarrett Allen on a mismatch or give it to him in a high post and let players cut off of him, and he can make good passes to them, scoring at the bucket. If Jarrett Allen can hit that mid-range shot, that lineup is virtually unguardable. Because every last one of those players could take you one or two dribbles and take it to the cup and finish above the rim. All those players can run a break. At least the first three got some type of significant handle that allows them to blow by defenders. You got defense. Everybody plays some type of significant defense. You got a rim protector. That's a great lineup. When you come in with this next lineup, you got sprayers. Because Garland can light you up from three. Merrill can light you up for three. Hunter can light you up from three. Okoro even can light you up from three. But Okoro and Hunter can run the break efficiently. Solo. And so can Mobley, which is a difference from the other lineup. On the other lineup, okay, Strus get it on the break. He go one-on-one. He go, okay. Dean Wade, Jarrett Allen, dependent, as long as he ain't got to be the one to dribble. Right? But you can't say that about the second five. If a Coral gets on the break, he can finish on his own, and he can dribble it. So can Hunter. So can Mobley. So outlet passes from anybody on this squad is dangerous because even Merrill got enough dribble to get to his shot or get it to the hole for a layup, and we know what Garland do. With this lineup, the floor is always spread, so Evan Mobley can effectively work in the paint and have room, just like when it's with Allen. But these are the fives. I don't want to see Okoro and Strus play with each other. I don't want to see Dean Wade and Hunter play with each other. Not for this end of the season going into the playoffs. Now, when we get to have to play Boston, and when we gotta have to play whoever we play for the championship in the finals, now we're talking about lineups that consist of Strus, Hunter, Wade. Because you're going to be alternating your two stars. You're going to most likely in those games, you're going to go heavy on Donovan Allen running for a period, Garland Mobley running for a period, or switching out. Garland and Allen running for a period, or Mitchell and Mobley. But I don't think Mitchell and Mobley play as well together as Mitchell and Allen. And I think Garland and Mobley play very well together. And I think that's okay. And you should feed into that. Another thing that I want to see Kenny do, if he don't choose to go that route, is you have to figure out how to give each star their own lineup. A lineup that is just centered around making Jared Allen the number one option. A lineup that is just centered around making Mobley the number one option. A lineup that's just for making Mitchell the number one option, and one for Garland. Because it's 4 quarters of basketball. So if you have to have a game where you have to have each one of your core four take over for a quarter, you should know the lineup you would need to put in together to maximize that situation. Because now we're talking about winning basketball. We're not talking about record-wise winning. We're talking about championship level basketball, which requires you to be able to execute in the half court for a specific reason, for specific executions, which means everybody has a role. And that's why I put the lineups I put out there. You got any feedback on that, Holy, before we switch sports?
No, you straight.
Right.
Shit, oh, damn near everything I was gonna say. As far as when it comes to them Cavs, got some habits they need to fix. Be some bad habits. Can't take them to the playoffs. As far as the lineup, man, like I don't know what the hell he doing, and I think he really don't. I think he really don't know for real, all the way. I think he's trying to see what everybody gonna give him, but hey, man, the final countdown is coming up, so he gotta figure some things out.
Yeah, like I said before, man. As long as they make it to the second round, he's done his job. All right. They made it to the second round last year and got gentleman sweep. So he makes it to the second round. He's done at least his job. Okay. Everything after that, it shows us where he is as a coach and where this team is. Now, I think even if he does coach bad, that this team can get through the first 2 rounds without too much friction. I don't say no friction, but without too much. It's the last 2 rounds of the playoffs that concern me. You know what I mean? And Donovan is growing better with his shot IQ and his matchup awareness. So I'm glad that he's doing that because I feel like he takes too many ill-advised shots and he too ego driven. It's winning basketball, bro. We always looking for the mismatch. We hunt for the mismatch. Okay? This is number 1. When I know I'm a mismatch or whoever guards me, I hunt for other mismatches. Because the more attention I give those mismatches, the more that you forget the threat I am, which just add to the whole weaponizing of the team. But that's just me. All right. That being said, let's get into my favorite sport. Let's get into my favorite. And this shit been going on for days now. Okay. It's just been signing after signing, after trade, after signing, after hostile report, after trade demand, after hostile report, after trade demand.
Hey, Brad, we can
switch into another one.
We can start a new one if you want to.
Just because that was lightweight fire basketball segment. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that's what we gonna do. We gonna come right back, you know.
All right, bet. So Dee Trynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Follow us on IG at Industry Sports or at Dee Trynt. If you missed the live streamings, catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and various other streaming platforms. Just look for the Industry Sports channel, like, subscribe, share, follow. Once you get in there, you see Game Changer Sports Talk with yours truly. Do the same. Make sure y'all hit up the website, industrysport.com. Make sure y'all email us, industrysports@gmail.com or dtrynt@gmail.com. Let's get into these discussions. It's about to be lit for the sports season. We appreciate y'all on this Tuesday talking NBA basketball. We're going to return for a football segment shortly.